The magnolias are blooming, the birds are singing, and it's raining in North Texas. So you know what that means. That obviously means it's spring in North Texas. And it's time for us to do a garden tour. And now, as we begin this tour, we're going to start on the outside of my 10 by 10, um, not really raised beds, but I'm going to say traditional rows. Before we go in there, let's take a look at what I have planted on the outside. First off, we're going to start with our Korean melons that are planted in this 4 by 4 box here. I actually used to grow potatoes in here, but then I switched it over to my Korean melon, making sure that I have enough mulch down in the soil so we can retain the moisture that these melons are definitely going to need. Additionally, right on the outside of the box, I have one solitary mammoth sunflower. I believe it's a mammoth, or maybe it's an Arikara sunflower. I'm not actually sure. I kind of forgot when I planted the seeds. But I really wanted to attract more of the birds to come around to be more of a pest control system for me. Because it's better to work with nature than against her. And now on the outside of the 4 by 4 we also have some Hibiscus Sorrel coming in here, a couple of pole cherry tomatoes, specifically Tropical Sunset that I got from my friends over at Botanical Interest, along with some, let's see, I can't remember exactly what basil this is, but I always plant my tomatoes with basil. Mm, I want to say that's probably a licorice basil there. That smells great. And now, just over to our left here, we have Watermelon Way. In Watermelon Way, we have three watermelons ready to grow and vine out. That's going to be at least one crimson sweet, and I want to say I have two different sugar babies growing in this specific row that I'm growing my watermelon. And over just over to the side of it is a walking path that we are going to use as a place where the watermelons will be able to vine out, because when growing watermelon you have to take in consideration they're going to stretch out about 10 to 12 feet once that vine really starts to grow. And now just over here to the right of our archway here is our strawberries. Now, this is the first of several. I want to say I got a lot of strawberries. I grow a lot of them, but these are our strawberries here. This is a combination of Chandler as well as some Albion and then Ozark Beauty, because I like to mix and match as far as everbearing and June bearing strawberries so that I can get the most out of my production. And now, as we walk through our archway, this archway is actually here to actually help prop up my grapes. I have four different variations of grapes that are growing in this specific garden bed, and they're on the corners of each one of this, the posts of this pergola. And now, just over to my right is where I house a lot of my herbs. So I'm going to have my basils, echinaceas, as well as my spicy oregano, not to mention my golden sage, and then, of course, my Mexican mint or Mexican marigold. And then, of course, I have to have an entire row of different basils. I love having different basils because they're excellent to cook with and they're awesome for pest control. And oh, check out the coloration that I have here on this purple basil. And when the wind hits it just right as you're walking through the garden, it's honestly a heavenly smell. Oh, and of course, we can't forget about our chives here. These were newly planted in the garden this season, so I really want them to start branching out and taking off because, I mean, who doesn't love adding fresh chives to a meal? Now, over here on our left side, this is where I have my okra, my onions, as well as my purple tomatillos. I can't wait for those to start producing. Plus, this also houses my main grape producer that is actually about 4 or maybe 5 years old. I honestly can't remember. Once it started fruiting, that's all that mattered to me. And now the crazy thing about these tomatoes that just presented themselves in my compost, this is compost that has been in this garden for maybe 3 or 4 years. And I recently turned the compost over, and wouldn't you know it, tomatoes just started to grow in there. So I've been slowly pulling the plants out and transplanting them and maybe donating to a couple of friends and families and so forth. And then whenever I do one of my plant sales, but I have no idea what variety of tomato they even are. So I'm going to call this variety of tomato bonus tomatoes because, I mean, who doesn't love a little extra tomato every once in a while? And now, just as we step outside of the 10 by 10, we are now then greeted with strawberry patches to my right here. And then, of course, more of my containers over here to my left. And, it's interesting when growing strawberries. It started off as just one solitary strawberry patch. But, my children love their strawberries so much that, and I love growing them because I love how well they grow and how much they flower. So, I went from one and got all the way up to 12 because I just can't stop growing strawberries. And then, plus, because the strawberry plants themselves, they send out runners and the plant is trying to propagate itself. And I can't help but clip those runners and make new plants to make new strawberry patches. And now, right after we get away from some of the strawberries, because trust me, there's more, now I have my chocolate mint, or at least one of my chocolate mint. I love chocolate mint. The smell is like a thin mint, a Girl Scout cookie. It's a perfect combination of both chocolate and mint together. Or Um, what's that candy called? Andes. That's what it smells like. And so, what my daughter and I do is we take this chocolate mint and we harvest it and we use it to make chocolate mint brownies. But you know what else it's great in? It's great for teas as well. If you're going to harvest your chocolate mint or any mint for that matter, make sure to harvest it in the morning. That's when the oils in the leaves are the strongest. You'll get the most scent and the most taste out of it. And now, as we get past the strawberry patches and all of my chocolate mint, we can't forget about my nasturtiums. I have my nasturtiums kind of planted strategically throughout the garden. Reason being is because nasturtiums are kind of like the chicken of the plant world, meaning everything likes to eat it. But I planted them like that on purpose because as my mints and my basils and all of my aromatic plants are masking my plants away from the potential pests, the nasturtium is here to act as a trap crop. So should they break through my defenses, I have a second line of defense, and that's called nasturtiums. And that's okay. They can go after my nasturtiums as long as they leave the rest of my plants alone. And as you step right out of the 10 by 10 on the opposing side, actually, right up here on top of my garden box, I have some of my flowers. And that's going to be my daylilies. Because guess what? I'm just a guy that likes his flowers. Right under the daylilies, of course, more nasturtiums, and then some more sunflowers coming up. Now, I know these are specifically Arikara sunflowers that's coming in. I'm going to have to thin some of these down because they're grouped up a little too much, but that's okay. I'm going to thin a couple of them, let the strongest ones survive. And oh, this is a feast right here. Check this out. If you don't know anything about me at all, one thing that you must certainly know is that I love growing my mints. And this is another mint here. This is my orange mint. I mean, truly, that smell is just breathtaking. See, this mint right here, you get again another combination of smells that just smells amazing. It's orange, but also with mint. It is amazing. And this one is great to actually put like in water, kind of like an infusion. You get that nice mix of both citrus and mint together. And it's great for potpourri around the house as well. And now, as we take a walk around the bend, next, we're going to take a look at my purple sage that's coming in pretty well. It's actually branched out. This is its second season. But in this main grow bed, oh, by the way, this raised bed is from Epic Gardening as well. In this raised bed, I have housed my glass gem corn, which is coming up pretty good. And along with the glass gem corn, I actually have my Wando peas coming in really well. The reason why I paired these two together is because we know that corn depletes the soil of nitrogen, but Wando peas, or peas specifically, are a nitrogen fixer. So as the corn is pulling the nitrogen out of the soil, the peas are actually placing it right back in place. So they have a nice symbiotic relationship going on here. And what the peas get from the corn is they can actually use the corn as a trellising device to climb up as they grow together. All right, gang. I would love to take you on a tour of the rest of the garden because guess what? I haven't showed you my tomatoes yet. I haven't showed you my mint alleyway, no, or my potatoes, or the rest of my strawberries, or even my broccoli here. But unfortunately, the weather is actually kind of getting intolerable right now. So I need to go ahead and close up shop. But I tell you this, if this video can get at least, let's say, 1,000 likes, I will continue on with the rest of this garden tour to continue to show you what all I'm growing here. Because trust me, there's way much more. I mean, we're talking bananas, we're talking pineapples, pink pineapples at that, not to mention my raspberry row. So there's much more in store. So let me know in the comments if you want me to continue on, and of course share and then like this video. If we get 1,000 likes, we'll continue on with the rest of the garden tour. All right, guys, it's been fantastic talking to you as always. Talk to you again real soon.